doesn't sound like they're really communicating very well. That's a big thing that you and I have discovered, that most couples, regardless of how long they've been in a marriage, whether it's 2 years, whether it's 20 years, communication seems to be the number one reason why people don't understand their spouses.
And I think partially to expand on that is husbands and wife, I feel on average, they feel they communicate. You like black, I like purple, we want the chair here. We like those are the things. They do situational,
Superficial too.
superficial.
Superficial.
So, for example, we go back 13 years ago, we would text for hours about the most ridiculous things. Like we were asking questions that were probably not even relevant, but we were just curious about it. We would text and text and text and text. But then, you fast forward to a couple of years ago, we would go a month or two without having a sit down, deep dive conversation of why does your thoughts work that way? And then we would get into that back and forth of, I would ask you something. And then you would get irritated because why are you asking such a dumb question? Like,
yeah, because they were like I had said,
trivial
they're
questions.
trivial. In my opinion, they were trivial. They were superficial. It's like, look, when you get past the what did you think today, when you get past the my favorite color type questions, and you start getting into who you are as a person, that's when you're really communicating with your partner. And in my personal opinion, I don't think people know themselves well enough to where they can even have that conversation with their partner. And I've seen people 20, 25, 30 years into marriage, they still don't know who the hell they are. It's like, well, if you don't know who you are, how can you communicate this to your spouse?
And going back to the point on trivial questions, where I was going on that was in the aspect of we would go back and forth quite often on what you viewed was a trivial question. But in reality, it was not meant to be a trivial question for me.
Sure.
The way I was asking it and the way I was directing it was trying to understand you on a deeper level that made sense to me. But the instant aspect of when you would go, that's a trivial question, leave that. Why are you asking stupid questions like that? It instantly would make me on the point of, well, that's not a safe place to ask it. That's a dumb question, which kind of puts in a little bit of a self-conscious, well, I'm asking stupid questions. And you start kind of questioning everything that you want to talk about. So then you fast forward of how many years of that's a trivial question, or that's a dumb question, or don't ask things like that. So the woman starts getting in her own head of what is a safe conversation to have with you? How do we have a deeper intellectual conversation, which this is a legitimate question I have for why you tick.